Hey, right, it's Travis Barrett, GWC Motorsports. New feature here, calling it 2 to go. I think we're only going to get one lap in here, but we just got done the 50th Oxford 250. Cole Butcher came in, won his second consecutive Oxford 250. I think the talking point when you come out of here, obviously, is he's not making any friends. And I think since if you got to go back over 20 years to the Ralph Nason era when he won 3 in a row. I mean, he was the ultimate villain in this race, and I think Cole's kind of taken that mantle. I mean, I thought last year, right, he had the contact with Johnny Clark that sort of took the lead away from Johnny. I mean, you can argue that Cole was coming. I know Johnny admitted that it was definitely Cole was coming and probably was going to pass him. There was contact. Cole was on to win. Got out of the car with a lot of booze. I didn't think the move, at least watching it from the tower, when he went past Joey Dwyer tonight with 26 laps to go, didn't look like he did anything different, than other guys had done. But Joey felt like he didn't really give him a chance to race. He just kind of, as soon as he got to his bumper, he moved him. So, hey, I wasn't in the car. Joey was. That's his impression. I think, I don't know if I have an opinion on it, but I think if you watch the heat races, right, Butcher won the second heat race, started pretty deep. He hit a lot of guys coming up through along the bottom. And so I think a lot of, and then right off lap, 7, he dumps the leader off of turn 2, gets penalized, sent to the back, still found a way up and wins. I mean, I don't think there's any question the cars are fast. I don't think there's any question he's really good. I think the way he kind of goes about it angers some people, and I think maybe you give Joey 24 hours or whatever to think about it. Maybe part of it's just kind of disappointment. He's been so close in this race. He's a guy that raced for his own, his family-owned team for so long, low dollar, just hasn't quite. He's been so close. He just hasn't been able to finish it, and I'm sure he's bitterly disappointed. He did say afterwards, I asked him about the way you lost, does it make it sting anymore? He said, kind of the way my career's gone at Oxford, it doesn't. It stings if I get past with 50 to go or 1 to go or run over. So fair. I think some other things tonight that kind of jump out at you, I said to one of the past officials down here right before the feature started, I said, I just feel like this race is setting up for somebody to come from really deep. Now, if Joey had held on and won the race, he started 41st, dead last. That would have been the deepest starting position for any winner in history. Even Butcher, he starts, for the record, he starts on the outside pole, but on lap 7, he got sent all the way to the back. So he was 40th and found a way to win. I thought there were a lot of guys. Jeff Taylor got caught in a lot of incidents, which, obviously, but he had a fast car. I think Curtis Gary had a really fast car that just kind of the way the pit stops went. He and Brandon Barker, we had a 99 lap green flag run here that got us to lap 180. A lot of guys really needed to pit. All the lead lap cars pitted, but Barker and Gary were the two leaders at the time. They didn't come until the next lap around, and I don't know if one was following the other or if something else was happening, but it was odd in that they were kind of wrestling with the Lucky Dog car, and there were some cars kind of jostling for position. So I'm not sure totally where the miscue was, but I think certainly Curtis had a car that was capable of winning. He turned his fastest lap of the race on lap 100 on old tires. He was really good, but then he got a couple of incidents trying to get through the back, so that kind of stinks. Some of the guys I thought would contend, DJ Shaw, I just had a feeling about him today. Really all week I had a feeling about him. I mean, he got to third, just wasn't the same as Joey and Cole were. Johnny kind of was the same way. He had some handling issues early, got him kind of fixed, but it just never played out right. I think Joey was so fast and Cole was so fast that I think it was going to be a big ask for those guys to be able to get there. So Austin Terrace finished in the top 10. But never, he got caught up in a heat race, the first lap of the first heat race, got some damage. I don't know how much that set those guys back, but certainly didn't help their day at all. man, 50 of these. It's crazy to think about. This was my 30th in a row, which makes me feel really old, but pretty incredible race. I think there were a lot of things going on. I thought it was interesting that with about, after they came out of that pit stop, right? That lap 180 or whatever it was ended up being, when they all came out and kind of lined up, it was funny that it was, Dwyer and Butcher and Shaw and Griffith and Clark and kind of all those guys have been they've just been fast all week. Like, they've been consistent, and even it's all the unpredictability of like how these heat races work and the draw and where you start and consies and a last chance qualifier. And at the end of the day, it's like, man, the fast cars find a way up front. And I've been saying that for a lot of years. I really don't feel like this race is as unpredictable as people always make it out to be. I think the guys that are good get there. And so, yeah, I think those are kind of my thoughts. Like, it's taken me a lot longer to walk a lap than I thought it would. But man, this track, I think the track itself is part of the story, right? I think it just it frustrates guys. You have to really, everything here is about momentum and finesse. And I think at the end of even 150 laps, guys are kind of sick of this place and the guys running around them. And I think after 250 laps, it gets even more exacerbated. So I do think, like, the track here is as much as anything. You got to race this track more than you're racing the guys around you. And I think when you get caught up racing the guys around you, that's when guys run into trouble and take themselves kind of out of it. So, yeah, wild night. But one thing you can't take away from Cole Butcher, no matter what everybody thinks about him, man, that car has been super fast here 2 years in a row. He's been, even though he's blown a motor 2 Saturdays in a row, the weekend, the day before the Oxford 250, put a backup in it, still gone out and won. You can't take that away from him. That car's fast. He's really good. He found a way to kind of battle all the way back up through and get himself in contention to win, and he did it, and capitalized when he got the chance. So, kudos to him. Joey's going to get one of these, I think, someday. He's certainly, of all the guys and all the racetracks, he's a guy that likes his place and is really good at it. So he should get one. And obviously you got Sean, Clark, Gabe Brown, who won the ACT race last night. These are guys that are pretty good here, pretty good in this region, and I don't think it's any surprise they're top 5 in the Oxford 250, even with 60 cars entered. So that's it from Oxford Plains Speedway. 50th is done. I'm ready for bed. I'm ready for some food, probably a cold beer. But appreciate everybody's support. All of you that have been following GWC from the beginning, thank you. And we'll do the Boss Hog 150 next weekend at Wiscasset, where I think it'll be another really good marquee super late model race for this region.